Hello, everyone. This is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment. We did a podcast a couple days ago about Dave Gettleman and the 4 players he traded away. And we got a lot of questions and a lot of good responses. And a lot of the questions were, well, what about his free agents, his draft, and the players that he brought in via trade? So we're going to do a 3-part series. Today, we're going to look at his free agent signings and the players he brought in to the team via trades. Let's start with the free agents. The depleted roster that he took over from Reese was just that, a depleted roster. Reese really couldn't stock players from the draft going back from 2011. We're not even going to get into that. So to me, a lot of his free agent signings were to fill gaps in the roster. And I laughed because I was watching Rocky yesterday. And Rocky was telling Paulie, that him and Adrian are perfect together because they fill gaps. And I just laughed because he said, she fills gaps. I have gaps, she has gaps, we fill gaps. And that's what I feel like Gettleman was doing with the roster. Some of his free agent signings were big swings and misses. Patrick Mohami, the right guard, was just a terrible pickup, and he got cut in mid-season. Jonathan Stewart, the retread from Carolina that was supposed to be the professional back to back up Saquon Barkley, was a waste of the pick. Kareem Martin, to me, it was kind of the same issue. Kareem Martin came, it was the retread from the Cardinals. It just wasn't a good fit for the team. And then you look at, some of his other, what I would say, accomplishments. You take a look at Michael Thomas, special teams captain, safety, made the Pro Bowl. Great pickup, no, but he would be a serviceable player on a good team. He is kind of our only option at certain times at safety. So you know what, while he's been a good player, I'm not seeing that as a win for Gettleman. Marcus Golden, definitely a win, definitely. But again, is an Arizona retread, a Betcher's defensive guy. But that guy can flat out play. So, you really have to count that as a win for him. But then you look at some of the other people he picked up. You look at Curtis Riley, Antonio Bethea, William Gay, Grant Haley, B.W. Webb. Some of these players, especially B.W. Webb, I actually thought he was someone that we could have re-signed at corner, but we kind of let him, go by the wayside. He had a good season the year he was here. He's playing well again this year as well, but the thing is, like I said, he was someone that we should have picked up and we should have signed. But that's neither here nor there, because when you're a bad team and you're going to be drafting a lot of corners like we did, B.W. Webb, again, to me, is a luxury. But he's not, he's not the player that we're looking for and the player that we need. Now, if we look at, the 2 big signings I haven't gotten into yet, because the big signing would be Nate Solder, left tackle. And we all know Nate has been a train wreck at times for the last 2 years. You sit down and do you think that was Nate a systems player over in New England, or is he just having this much trouble because he's playing alongside at the time a rookie and Hernandez? Because a lot of times last year, Nate took a lot of the blame for missed assignments that Hernandez had. But that's fine, because like I said, he's making all that money. He should be able to help Hernandez with those assignments, But then you go into this year. Yes, Hernandez has struggled at times again this year, but, Nate has struggled along just as much with them. I mean, there were games this year, even most recently, where, he's going up against a superior pass rusher, and he's whiffing on his blocks. I mean, he had 2 plays the other game where he got, against the Eagle game, where he was beaten for sacks, and both times he had help with the tight end. One time the tight end missed the chip block, and he was on one-on-one blocking, Solder was, and then there was another time that Solder and the tight end collided together. Now, do I sit there and blame him strictly for that? No, but I blame him for the up and down play that he has had all year long, which kind of, again, it's just one of those weird things that you think about it and you're like, you know what? Maybe he should go back to New England because maybe the Josh McDaniel blocking assignments for the team is a lot better than what we're doing here at the Giants. So, but again, like I said, we're not gonna get on him with that, but we are gonna get on with his entire body of work. And I'm not sure what his ramifications would be from getting cut next season, but he is someone we either need to look at removing from the roster or at least restructuring his contract so it's a little bit more team friendly. One of the other big free agent signings, of course, was Golden Tate. Golden Tate was going to come in and be the X factor. He was going to be the anti-Odell. He was going to show us, how you could play, without all the drama like Odell. And what happens? Bang! 4-game suspension for PEDs. Come on. And then what killed me is evidently the Giants knew about this, and Tate knew about it too before they signed the contract. Now I know he's saying that it was because he was taking hormone drugs, so him and his wife could have a child. And that may be the case, but it's just is it an excuse? I don't know. But if you knew about it, the team should have announced it before they announced the sign or announced it during the signing. And then he comes back to the team, yes, and he has played well. He's had some big plays. He's had some nice catches. He's had some Odell-type plays and Odell-type catches. And I think he is a good quality wide receiver to have on our team to play against, play on the other side from Shepard and Darius. But I can't call him a win for Gettleman right now on the free agent signings because, like I said, he was suspended for those 4 games, and it's at times, especially in the early in his comeback, it's like we weren't even looking for him. It's like he was an afterthought in the offense, which is because of the rookie quarterback and everything else. But you know what? He is definitely not a win for the team. So to me, those were his big free agent signings, and honestly, I have to give him a big whiff on all his free agent signings, except for, like I said, the Michael Thomas and the Marcus Golden ones. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing that is a way we need to, But beyond everything else, I'm just not seeing it. I'm not happy about it. I think that in some ways, he's almost on the Reese level in reference to bringing in these players. What really gets me is he never really brings in linebackers. And again, I think that's the same problem we've always had. We need the linebackers. We never bring in the linebackers. I don't know why. So hopefully we're going to get back to the Giant way with the big linebackers and people that can cover the pass and people that can turn around and also play the run. Now, speaking of linebackers, let's look at the Alex Ogletree trade. We gave up 2 basically non-consequential draft choices to get Ogletree because of the fact that we were also taking on the contract. Ogletree, when with the Rams, was not, I would say, he had up and down seasons with the Rams, but he had quality in his play. He looked like he was someone that could come in and anchor the defense for a while. The problem, and like I said, I don't have problems giving up late round draft choices or mid round draft choices if we're getting a player back of quality. The problem I have with Ogletree was he was always spotty in coverage, even going back to his days with the Rams. He played the run well. He's always around the ball. But to me, he is a good linebacker to have on a team that already has quality linebacking cores that can help cover up his deficiencies. Now, last year, Ogletree had a couple good games towards the end of the season with the interceptions and everything else. And you kind of take a look at his play, and it's up and down. This year, he was not getting as burned as much with the tight end and the running back coming out of the backfield. but his coverage is just his coverage skills are just lacking. Now, I will give you this. He always has a knack for being around the ball. He always has a knack for for finding the right time to get the interception, the right time to force the fumble or get the fumble. But again, on a team like the Giants, which is lacking in defensive talent, to me is another whiff for Gettleman, because of the fact that he never came in and had that forceful presence that you would hope that the linebacker you were paying all this money would come in and have, especially via the trade. So again, I'm going to have to call that a whiff for Gettleman on that trade. Now, his other trade we're going to look at, of course, is the Leonard Williams trade. I think everyone knows my opinion on the Leonard Williams trade. It was a waste. It was, a 3 and a 5 or 3 and a 4, depending on if we re-sign him. Leonard Williams, since he's been here, has had maybe 2 good games, been non-existent in the others. People are like, well, you have to look at Leonard Williams for his hidden statistics. Listen, you're taking a defensive lineman who wants Aaron Donald money and has had 1 Pro Bowl season in 5 years and only 19 tackles and none this year, and you have to look for hidden talents or hidden stats. I'm not seeing that. I can't see paying that kind of cash for hidden assets. If I want Aaron Donald, I want Aaron Donald. I want Aaron Donald sacks. I want Aaron Donald's tackles. I want tackles for losses. I want Aaron Donald. So if you want that kind of money, that's fine. But you're not getting it from us, I'm hoping. What concerns me, it's almost as if Gettleman is saying that the Dexter Lawrence pick is not working out. And not working out in reference to him stuffing the run, because he's a very good run stuffer. But it's almost like we're saying, well, you know what? We drafted Dexter Lawrence, and one of the things they said on draft day was we're drafting Dexter Lawrence because of the fact that we are letting him. He's going to have the ability to get pressure on the quarterback. Well, the problem is he's not getting pressure on the quarterback, and that's the issue. So it's almost like they went out and got Leonard Williams because they know that Lawrence is not able to generate that interior pressure to run the better defense. So to me, it's almost like them saying, okay, we made a mistake. He's a great run stuffer. He's a Snacks Light, I've been calling him, or Snacks 2.0. And that's fine because we could use a player like that because we could have used Snacks, but you know what? We could also use Lawrence, who's making a hell of a lot more snacks than we got on the contract for another 4 years. So I gotta give Gettleman a big head scratcher and a big whiff on the Leonard Williams trade. Now, the other trade that we brought in another player, is going to be the trade that sent Odell Beckham and Olivier Vernon over to the Browns. People seem to forget that this was all one big trade. The Vernon trade and the OBJ trade was all combined together. What did we get out of that trade? We got a couple draft picks. We got Peppers. We also picked up the 17th pick and another pick, swapped some picks out. And we also picked up, we also picked up, what's his name, Ziegler, the offensive lineman. So, I look at that trade and I say, you know what? It's an interesting trade. Only because of the fact that we got rid of Vernon and we got rid of the OBJ contract. And I laugh because of the fact that I wanted to get rid of the Vernon contract. I thought we overpaid for Vernon, so I was fine with that. Same with the OBJ. He was a generational talent, but right now he's not the generation talent that he's been. I don't know if that's due to injury or whatever, but we got to take a look at that. So Peppers, I thought, was having an up and down season until he got hurt. He was not playing extremely well when we were back in the in the early part of the season, but he really started coming on late before he got hurt. He was showing that he can. It's amazing that, yes, he got beat a couple times by the tight end, but this was the first time in years that I can remember whoever wore 21 not getting burned repeatedly by the tight end and repeatedly by the running back. So, I mean, he has promise. He has promise not only as a safety, but as a returner. But I really do think at his second season and maybe pairing him with Julian Love, is really going to help him grow, next year if he could stay healthy. I know people think they say he's volatile and has issues. I've been following him since Michigan. He's a Jersey guy. He's a good kid. He's a good player. But like I said, it's to me, yes, he filled in admirably for Landon Collins, and I don't see him. I see him being a fixture in the defense for a good 5-6 years, hopefully. Now, Kevin Zeidler, he has filled in well, and when you don't hear his number called as often as someone like Eric Flowers, he that means he's playing well. Has he been dominant? No, but he has helped. He has really helped solidify the offensive times. Now, people are complaining, saying our offense is terrible, our offense sucks, our offensive line sucks, it's worse than last year. Honestly, if you look at Pro Football Focus, they've been ranked anywhere between 19 and actually I think they were at 17 rated, anywhere between 17 and 21. I mean, we were at 32 last year. So yes, the offensive line has improved. Our average, we have a lower average carry, but I think that has to do a lot with Saquon getting hurt. But do I see that win? Do I see that trade as a win for Gettleman? No. Again, I see that as a big whiff. Only because of the fact that you did get rid of OBJ, which was a fan favorite. You brought in the 17th pick with that you then turn around, drafted Lawrence, but then turn around and traded for Leonard Williams because you didn't think the Lawrence pick was good for the pass rush, so you need to generate some interior pass rush for that. And you got Peppers, but of course Peppers has gotten hurt. So if you look, in my eyes, if you look at the breakdown of his free agent signings and his trades that brought in talent, I see it all, most of it, as a big swing and a miss. I mean, I see a couple singles, but that's it. And maybe there's one or two players that maybe Tate will surprise us next year and turn into a ground rule double. But then even his late signings like Buchanan, and I've said it before, Buchanan is a strong safety who can't play linebacker. He left Arizona first to go to Tampa, and then Tampa cut him. And honestly, Todd Bowles runs the same defense as Betcher. So if you got cut in Tampa, what are you going to do in New York? Which shows that he really hasn't done anything since he got here. And I don't know. To me, Gettleman, if we take a look at the last 2 years for his free agent signings and his trades, like I said, I got to give him a big whiff on all of them. Next podcast, we're going to look at his drafts. I am going to tell you some of the things that I am going to focus on are some of the things that he has passed on in the draft. Some of the players that he's passed on, like Bradley Chubb, Josh Allen, Brian Burns. But that's like I said, the draft I think is going to be a little bit more interesting than his free agent signing. We did forget the trade for Riley Dixon. We gave up a late pick for Dixon, good punter. We re-signed him. So you know what? I'm giving Gettleman a win on Dixon. That's his big win. That's his A+. Hopefully 2020's free agents are going to be a lot better than 19s and 18s, and we're going to kind of go from there. We got the big game coming up against Washington. With Daniel Jones is starting, we are not going to head down to D.C., even though it's about 3.5 hours away because we have the holiday coming up. So let's hope Daniel Jones plays well. Let's hope we get another win. And this is Tim with Online Big Blue, bringing you the best in New York Giants sports talk and entertainment.